Gossip time. It is easy to gossip, and more the merrier. But when the group is long, group is full of wisdom, and a lot of thoughts come into being, and later on, putting them together, or say draw a nectar out of that, it becomes more challenging, and everyone expects कि it should be done fast, but it is not possible because we discuss a lot. We everything out of the discussion is not worth capturing. But then once we are discussing it continuously, consistently, yes, there is some wisdom that flows out of that. It so happened last weekend I was working on some aviation article, and I had to draw one image which was to talk about the air routing. And someone asked, Ki Baba, what is this? You are working on something connecting the world or connecting the universe, and that make a topic for discussion. So gossip time became a gossip to meditate, or gossip time learning on meditation, or the meditation itself. This all turned to a lot of gossip over the meditation. Then I said, okay, we will sit again. Then 2 or 3 days, every day we were talking, discussing on the subject, and then people start sharing a lot of things in the group. So now, since I had taken it on me, so I had to start putting them together. So these are some of the inputs that came from various people in the group, that gossip time group, right? So this all is the inputs, and then transcription of the same, right? So which flows into multiple sheets. And now I was thinking how to put them in a narration form, or make or help people read this. So I was counting roughly about 16, 17, 18 plus pages. So I cannot talk in the same sequence of discussion because it will not make sense. So I have tried to capture in 2 or 3 series, and time permit we will take them one by one. First thing first, the discussion started. Since we all are not communicators in the group, but then communication is the fundamental to mankind. So without communication, we are nothing. We are communicating every moment. Now I am talking to you, we are communicating. So we may not be communication professional, but we have to use communication. The thing started from that. And communicating with the unknown. Once we know that with whom we are talking, we are communicating, the matrix is different. Then it came into being, since our focus is on discussion such with such a person who is unknown. So what are the techniques, and then how to do it? Then people said there are Zen techniques, there are Buddhist techniques, or there are Tantric techniques, or there are different techniques, and there are Vedic techniques also. Okay, Vedic techniques is okay. But nowadays there are scientific techniques also, right? I have read it on alpha mind, beta, gamma waves which the mind generates. So there are scientific techniques also. But someone said there is a technique of Bhagavad Gita. Now that make discussion very hot. He says Gita doesn't talk of meditation, right? Gita talks of strategies of war, and it was to prepare Arjuna for undertaking that war. Then someone said, you cannot have a war with your mind at rest, mind at peace, and this is what is meditation. So Bhagavad Gita, many think is only lesson at the war field, but it is not. Krishna gives lessons on purification of mind, as it is essential to fight. Now this fight could be fighting on the battlefield or fighting on the daily life front. So the fight is not war, rather to fight the conflicts in the mind. That is a real fight, right? Shall I fight or shall I not fight? That's what the was the confusion of Arjuna, and that's what Krishna clarified. And once he was full of wisdom, he took the war. So meditation is taught in Gita. It is confirmed now, right? So first we all had to come to one conclusion: that Gita is talking about meditation. Otherwise, the Gita is not only the book of war strategies. So now the question is how, where Gita talks of meditation, right? So there is a way to meditate that Krishna taught in the Gita, and answer is yes. We have agreed on that, and that's why we will move forward now on this topic. So first we had to come to one thing, that we know that Gita talks about meditation. So as I mentioned, we are communicators, right? And communicators know that communication between two persons or two groups or two communities or between two entities is possible only once we have got a medium, right? So we need a system and we need a channel to communicate. Communication could be verbal, non-verbal, or even an unknown thing could also cause a communication. Nowadays it could be physical and non-physical also. We have experienced the virtual mode of communication. It could be a hybrid mode of communication, and it is important to know the receiver. And once we know, it is easy. But if you do not know the receiver, then there is another conflict of coding and decoding procedure for the communication. So for two-way communication, we must know the code of communication. And it is important that even if you are having a face-to-face communication, we might miss the effective communication. So effective communication is very important, and that's what Krishna has emphasized in Gita, that you must communicate with your mind, and once your mind is in sync with your communication, you can analyze the thing. But since our focus is on discussion, communication with the unknown, right? For that, there are, as I mentioned already, different methods and strategies, but there are different forms of people who practice meditation, right? We have seen, we do not want to name them, but we have seen people not cutting hairs, not eating meat, or any other things. There some kind of rules they make. Not drinking wine, not drinking tea, coffee. Some people make their own rules and regulations. Not taking full, that is fasting, or any kind of hermit style of life that they think is the medium to meditate. But Bhagavad Gita on meditation, Krishna hints about this in various chapters. But to have a focused discussion on that, we shall concentrate the wisdom that flows in chapter 5, verse 27 to 29. Chapter 6, verse 11 onwards, but specifically between verses 11 and 17, and specifically verse 11, 12, 13, 15, and 17. As I mentioned, chapter 6 is dedication to that fully for meditation. I am already into 10 minutes of video on this, but anyhow, we will have to bear some time. So now when Krishna says how to reach to him, when Krishna speaks about how to reach to him, he is talking about meditation techniques that will enable to reach to him. And Krishna has proclaimed that he is the God himself. So if you have to reach to him, then you must follow what he tells, and once you are able to reach, you are reaching to the Lord. Right? That point is very clear, Krishna. And Krishna is entitled to show that because he is the ultimate. He has proved. Right? So we, on this presumption, we are moving forward. So now we have identified 6 nodal points so far as meditation is concerned in Gita, and those points we will follow one by one, and we will try a method whereby we will listen to the verse and then give my understanding on that portion, that verses. I am saying my because I do not want and others to comment, then I said like this, you said like that. So this is my understanding, but this all came from combined discussions in the discussions that we undertook as a gossip group, right? So that's what we will follow, right? So let us listen to the verse 527, I think.
Sparshan kritva bahirbakhyan chakshuschaivaantare bhruvoh pranapanau samo kritva nasabhyantaracharinav yatendriyamano buddhihi munirmokshaparayanah vigatechhabhayakrodo yas sada mukta eva saha.
That was chapter 5, verse 27 and 28. Now go to verse 29.
Bhoktaram yagyatapasam sarvalokamaheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam shanti mrichati.
So in these 3 verses, the understanding is very clear that one shall shut out all thoughts of external enjoyment. Fix your gaze between the 2 brows, right? Balance the flow of breath in and out, that is, inhale and exhale, from left and right nostrils, alternatively, whatever the way you think it needs to be balanced. Purpose is that equalizing the flow help controlling the senses, mind and intellect. Once you become prone to this system, then you can fulfill your desire and win over the fear. And once you are free from desire and fear, you are living in true freedom. That is the founding understanding about meditation, which Krishna says in verse chapter 5, verse 27 to 29. We have just listened to them. Now I will move in chapter 6, and we, as I mentioned, whole chapter 6, 11 onward is dedicated on that. But the nectar comes from verse 11, 12, 13, 15, and 17, right? So this makes our 6 nodal points very clear in Gita. Now I will shift to the listening to verse 11.
शुचौ देशे प्रतिष्ठाप्य स्थिरमासनमात्मनः नात्युच्छ्रितं नातिनीचं चैलाजिनकुशोत्तरम्.
Beauty of the Gita is it is such a detailed manual. Krishna has gone explaining from the basics, right? He says, make an asana, seat. Sit in a sanctified place. May use the kusha, right? The type of grass. Or a asana with cloth, rather multiple layers of cloth. How deeply he has gone. And it has also been recommended to use the deer skin. Some people have got a different argument in the group about using the deer skin, but there are reasons and mentions about that, because once you are sitting on the ground and this deer skins protects you from bites from snakes or other creatures. That's why it was recommended. But anyhow, we are not going into that debate, because modern day many things have different understanding. And then he has also mentioned that asana should not be too high and too low. How deeply he has gone. You should not be sitting too high, because once you have gone into the trance of meditation, you might fall. And you should not be too low, because of some creatures cropping into the low space, etc., and you got a fear of harm from them. So this is verse 6, chapter 6, verse 11. My understanding on that. We move to verse 12 and 13.
तत्रैकाग्रं मनः कृत्वा यतचित्तेन्द्रियक्रियः उपविश्यासने युञ्ज्याद् योगमात्मविशुद्धये समं कायशिरो ग्रीवम् धारयन्नचलं स्थिरः सम्प्रेक्ष्य नासिकाग्रं स्वं दिशश्चानवलोकयन्.
So we have listened to chapter 6, verse 12 and 13. Now, again, every time I admire the way Krishna has gone so meticulously explaining the procedures. After giving you the environment in which you should sit, he talks about the process. Sit firmly on the asana. Strive to purify the mind by one point concentrated focus. Control thoughts and activities. Sit in a straight line body. That means head, neck, backbone vertically straight, right? And shall make, it's not said in the verse, but I have read other places and other in the group endorse that, and that says that when you are sitting straight, your head, neck, all these 7 chakras should form a 90-degree with the earth. And there is a mention by someone, if that is in perfectly 90-degree, then there you are defying the gravity. The gravitation for you are slightly defying the gravitational forces, and that is the secret of sitting 90-degree erect. And then Krishna moves forward in the verse, the gaze, the tip of when you are sitting, your eyes shall not be fully closed. You should be concentrating on the tip of your nose, and that means that you should not wander here and there. Your eyes should focus on the tip of the nose, and then there is a science behind that. Science behind is that if your eyes are totally closed, you might go into the dream, and then the dream world is entirely different. And once you are partly awake, partly you're neither inside nor आउटसाइड. वो कहते हैं दलेजी के बीच में अगर आप खड़े हैं दरवाजे के एंट्रेंस के ऊपर, देन यू आर अबाउट टू ट्रांस to another field, right? Chapter 6, verse 15.
युञ्जन्नेवं सदात्मानं योगी नियतमानसः शान्तिं निर्वाणपरमां मत्संस्थामधिगच्छति.
Beauty. Again, he say, keep the mind absorbed in me. You see how confident is the Krishna. He say, keep the mind absorbed in me, the Lord, the God, the Krishna. I am the Lord, he proclaimed. By doing this, you attain nirvana and abides in me, the supreme power, and attain the supreme peace. Fantastic. Now, coming to the sixth point, chapter 6, verse 17.
युक्ताहार विहारस्य युक्तचेष्टस्य कर्मसु युक्तस्वप्नावबोधस्य योगो भवति दुःखः.
Again, those who are temperate in, here again Krishna warns that excess of everything is bad, right? You must have moderation. You must live in temperate mode in eating, recreation, balanced in work, regulated in sleep and other activities. And once you do that, the person who does this, he can mitigate all sorrows by regular practice of this. What a nectar, what a wisdom, I repeat. Once you are temperate in eating, recreation, balanced in work, regulated in sleep and other activities, you can mitigate all sorrows by regular practice of this. एक दिन करने से काम नहीं होगा. You have to do it again and again and make a practice of this. This camera captures videos in laps of 10 minutes each. I think this is the second lap of 10 minutes. I will join them together. But then now this time, the meditation from Gita, whatever the our gossip group had a discussion is almost complete. But then there are some intricate points which were talked, given reference here and there. That also I will try to sum up, so no one should feel that what he said was आपने तो रखा नहीं, include नहीं करा. So I will try to include all those points, but still again in a synchronized manner, right? So now, as regards the referencing in the Gita, I think points are very clear. The 6 nodal point with the 3 verse from the chapter 5 and then the another 5 verses from chapter 6 makes very clear there is a reference available for a meditation in Gita, and which is a proven method which makes sense and which is very practical, right? But then there are certain things which people have talked about, which have mentioned about the philosophy behind this method. And they say when your eyes are not fully shut, it is purposefully said like that. Once you are partly awake, it will not allow you to go into the fake world of fake world of dreams, right? So that is number one. And there is a system when you are doing that, and then you are concentrating on the tip of your nose. Through that, that what you call nishagra drishti. When you are having that nishagra drishti, you seeing at this compels you to focus here, and then while you are doing this, your stress is coming on this place in between the two line, and that is what is something people call it the agya chakra, and that from or it is called a tilak, the place. And whenever you must have noticed, whenever go to the temple, someone is putting a tilak on our head, we start moving our head and we try to indicate that person that where to put that tilak. And same way, if I am doing it myself and with my shut eyes, so I will put a particular place. So this place, the agya chakra point, is unique to everyone, and one he only knows that. And once you are doing this gets activated, and once this gets activated, as I mentioned earlier referencing, that when you enter in your house, दल्हेजी पर जब आप होते हैं, ना अंदर है ना बाहर है, from here the moment that opens up, then you are up, right? Then you are up. And once you have tasted that, seen that, then it is very difficult for you to come down. So that is what is the fragrance of this. So at that level, I think again summing up will be apt, that you should have a sthir asan, and you should stretch your body erect at 90 degree with the mother earth. And then nishagra drishti, you should have a nishagra drishti, by which you should close your eyes partly and concentrate on this, and then you can rotate eyes one by one also, which is not very easy. And then you should have try to feel that the stress on agya chakra is coming, and that activates, and then you do it regularly. I think that's what which all was talked about, attaining the Paramanand, activating the Agya Chakra, which you want to do it. And I repeat, the referencing of meditation in Gita derives us from verses 27 to 29 of chapter 5, and the methodology has been very well summed up in verse 11, 12, 13, 15 and 17 of chapter 6. And then it was just a discussion, and it was just an gossip time. And it is a term from gossip to meditate. It is the somebody coined कि आज तो क्या कहते हैं, ध्यान से समाधि की तरफ होता था, आज तो गपशप से समाधि की तरफ हो गया. सो ध्यान तो बीच में रह गया, गपशप से समाधि की तरफ, और वाया मेडिटेशन वहाँ ध्यान. I think I try to club all these clips because this camera halts after 10 minutes and switched on because it gets heat up, etc. So we have to adjust with the technology. If I will give it in 3 parts, I will give part 1, 2 and 3, and later on if I can club them, club them, right? Thank you. Enjoy the gossip time. There was some pressure, some calls कि बाबा साहब इसको आज आउट करो, वीकेंड है. I said okay, we will do it, right? Good, thank you, good day.